Hello again. This is the church that I serve in. It's in Sayville, New York. It's called Sayville Congregational United Church of Christ. And it is a place where it's not just flying a flag outside that tells our queer community that it is welcome. More about that in just a minute. But it really is a place that practices the full welcoming to the work and worship of the church for all people. Today we had the memorial service for a wonderful woman who died last Sunday, just less than a week ago. And she and her wife have been partners in this community here for a very long time. And in fact, were some of the people who, back in the 90s, participated in an event of calling an openly gay pastor to serve the church that split the church. In those days, they bussed in people from other places to come into your worship service to stand up and tell everybody how you were going to hell and how terrible this was of what you were doing and all sorts of unkind things. But they hung in there and were very powerful in the spirit that was given to them and others to welcome a gay pastor like me to come serve here. And in fact, it is he in the history of this church and others who opened the doors for me many years later. And I think that's part of the point when I think of Carolyn, as her name, who passed away, and the things that she did just on a daily basis, being who she was in her life, in the way that she worshiped, in her relationship with God, with her wife, with her community. All of those things change a lot of things. You may not know it, and you don't always see it, but it does, and it paves the way. So today, I want to remember all of those people who went before you and me, and that probably includes some of you who may see this. There are still people around who were out there in the beginning of this struggle in so many ways, and I'm grateful to them. In and out of faith communities, very grateful to them. And so, the flag, yeah, you know, it's a funny thing. We put the flag up in front of our church, and for some people, that's a hard thing because they don't want to be identified just as a gay church. And of course, that's not what it says. It says that if you are queer, and another conversation sometime about using that word, but it says that if you are queer, LGBTQ, how you may identify yourself, that you are welcome here. And we are the only house of worship I know of in this community where that flag flies. And it's not to say we're a gay church, but it's to say we understand that you who identify as queer have not had a welcoming in many places. And even when you thought you were going to be welcomed, you found out that maybe that wasn't quite true. You know, there's a big difference between saying you're an ally and being an ally. So it's there because we want people to know that we get it as best as we can. And it's more than a flag. It's a welcoming and an invitation. So if you're looking for a place where you can find a welcoming and an invitation to enter into a relationship with a community that would love you and care about you and also has members who are part of the queer community and been through some of the same things you probably have been through. If you see that flag, it means something. Doesn't mean it's a queer church, but we don't need a queer church. We just need a place where people don't tolerate us. You know, I always say I tolerate mosquitoes, but the people truly welcome us. And there are those places like this one. And so find one if that's what you're looking for. And if you haven't been able to find one, keep looking because they're out there. And if your experience is like mine, you might discover that having a faith community, having a place where who you are is welcomed in worship and in the spiritual life that we all, I think, are inclined toward, that having that is really important. It has been for me. So I hope you find what's important for you, and thank you again, as always, for listening today. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.